chairman consumes air. For now. Welcome to our weekly conference. Today we're going to be going over promotions, demotions, medal awards, and developer questions. Is there any group-wide news that we have today?
We actually have two.
Ooh.
So the first group-wide news we have will be in regards to AOA. So AOA students in stage 3 must now co-host 3 AA lessons in order for them to be better prepared as AFAs in the future. This is just a rise in quota from the previous quota. The next group-wide issue is in regards to Maddie's discharge. Before she left AEGIS, she left a message for us to read out. So I'll read it out. So, unfortunately, due to work, I am unable to make it to this conference. I didn't want to leave AEGIS without any sort of word as it feels wrong. I truly thank every single person in this group for making these 2 years of my life the absolute best it could have been. I'm going into my final year of high school, so it feels as though this group has raised me in a way. The reason for my retirement is due to my real life getting way too busy to focus on this group, work and stress, etc. I would genuinely miss being in this group dearly. I've met the most amazing people from this group, and some of them are my closest friends to this day. I'm going to miss you all dearly. Thank you for all the memories. I was still in the Discord and my DMs are open. I will still pop in every once in a while to say hello. Again, thank you all for everything. I wouldn't trade my memories in this group for the world. Goodbye, Aegis. So sad, it brings a tear to my eye. Well, that's the group wide news. The next news we actually have is in regards to SC. So as some of you will know, Jack Place has stepped down as UC and has left SC as well. So SC will be getting a new commissioner. So can we get a? Oh no, never mind. But can scripted super come up to the front? Congratulations to him. He'll be getting promoted from the deputy site commissioner to the site commander. Woo!
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 And I may sit back down.
All right, moving on, we have medal awards. So starting off with the award of mobility, we have 3 people getting it today. Would Ultra Buoy, EBNEP, and Tilted Vani step up to the front, please? Congratulations for completing I believe, a 5-hour duty state on mobile. You may jump up and down in celebration. Woo!
It's 4 hours.
4 hours. I always thought it changed to 5 for whatever reason.
Nah, it's always been 4. It's just 5 hours you get, 3 points instead.
I see. All right, you may now have a seat. Next up is the award of obstacle veterancy. So would Rose Howe, I don't know how to say it, so I'll just type it up. And Waterboy Fire 62 step up to the front, please. Rousho has completed the obby with a time of 1 minute and 31 seconds. And Waterboy Fire 62 has completed the obby with a time of 1 minute and 36 seconds. Congratulations, you may jump up and down in celebration.
Woo!
And you may have a seat. Next up is the Medal of Undying Loyalty. So we have 2 people becoming boomers. Would Galler70 and Epialtez step up to the front, please? Welcome to the 1-year Boomer Club. Thank you for your service to the corporation. 3 years late. Next up, we have the Aegis Combat Excellence Award. Would Vicky Boy step up to the front, please? In order to get this medal, you need to get 150 kills and 0 deaths. Congratulations, Vicky, for proving that you're really good at combat. Next up, we have AWA graduates. This is the AEGIS Certificate of Military Scholarship. Would the following 3 people step up? Matty G is the best, 𝐏𝐑𝐄𝐒, and Mr. Chunky 2. Congratulations, you have graduated AWA, and you will now be moving on to the ranks of the AA staff. Jump up and down in celebration, you're now AFAs. And you may return to your seats. Next up, we have AEGIS Academy staff promotions. So we're getting 2 new specialists. Can we have a drum roll, please? Would AC Mount and J4K721 step up to the front, please?
Woo!
Congratulations. You guys are being promoted to the rank of specialist, which means you get a reduced quota. You may jump up and down in celebration, and you may have a seat. I believe that's it for today's conference. No promotions or demotions.
Oh,
For the officer corps, at least, yeah. We'll have to move on to conference questions. Is the channel open?
Yep.
Okay.
But I think the chairman want to do the speak
Mhm.
thingy. You know where
Yeah.
they request to speak.
Well, if anybody wants to come and actually speak, you can request now. If not, use the conference questions channel. Oh, we have 2. Mr. Dan Fan. Would you like to accept? Hello? Dan Fan 9118. Okay. My Gem Diamond. Do you guys know how to accept the invitation to speak? Okay. Warlock JKL. 2 down.
Hello.
Finally, someone knows how to
for the
accept.
past few weeks, maybe even months, the ARD healing tool has been buggy. Have you found anything out about that?
No, I've been dying from COVID-19. But Coded is the one that made that, so I'll inform him that there's a problem with the tool and he can have a look at it.
Okay.
Thank you for your question. Mr. Gust2222. Another one who does not know how to accept. Health flies. Yay, someone that actually knows how.
Yeah, so the civilian night vision, if you go into the morph, have they found a fix for that? Because you have to go back in the morph just to activate it.
But the it's because it's something to do with it uses the same naming scheme for the head accessory or whatever. So whenever you go into a morph, it obviously overwrites that. I'll probably rename it or something in the future to fix that, but it's not that big of an issue.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Danfan and Gust make a return. Have they figured out how to accept yet? I take that as a no. Go on to the conference questions now. God. When FA Plus will get new tools? No. There's no need for you to have new tools. You've got everything you would ever possibly desire. Any news about anti-cheat? Coded hasn't been working on much in relation to development at the moment because he's got college work and stuff. But he's mainly working on the gun script, not the anti-cheat at the moment. Will there be new weapons? Yes, there will definitely be new weapons. Whether or not that's for groups or game passes, we will never
Chairman,
know.
you missed a question.
Which one?
Rattle
Oh,
Jake.
any plans to move the conference hall to the border? Actually, yes, in the city, but it depends really how that will go, because obviously we can't have 300 player servers. So it would mainly be smaller conferences that would be held there, but we would not be holding this conference at the border. It's just a logistical nightmare in terms of development. There are new developer updates. There are any new developer updates, like new gun sounds. Why would there be new gun sounds? No. Will other divisional tryouts be slightly easier if there are not many people? No. I mean, I would hope that the same level of strictness, etc., is held even if there isn't that many people attending a tryout. So no, I don't think the tryout would be easier simply because there's less people attending it. When FA Plus will get bin tools? There is no bin tools tool. There's a bin and you can tell people to go to it, and FA are sometimes given permission to be at the gate in order to do that job if no divisional personnel is online. But you won't have a bin tool, whatever that is. What's the current state of the city? Last district is currently in progress. The first one and the second one are complete. There's no scripting really yet, so there isn't any, let's say, robberies, heists, stuff like that are done yet. It's mainly just the building work that's getting done right now. How do I claim medals? You get awarded medals at the conference if you apply for them with the correct data. For instance, if you have 150 kills, you'll take a screenshot of that and then send it to the appropriate person in order to get it added to the Trello. But you don't just claim medals. What is the downside to being either MDF or SDHD? Well, that depends entirely on you and what you find for each division and what you like about each division and what you don't like about each division. There isn't a basic downside to like both divisions that is just a generally known fact. It depends entirely on what you want to do in the group. The UMP-45's description says it's an armor-piercing weapon, but as for us MDF, we don't see any damage being dealt with far or close range. Is there any possible way it's going to be refixed? I mean, the UMP still does damage. It doesn't necessarily mean that it just shoots through armor. That's never what it would actually do. It just means it damages armor more than it damages health. Which is actually true. It breaks down player armor faster than it would if you were just shooting them without armor. Some weapons have higher armor damage values and some have higher health damage values. It just depends on the weapon. When FA Plus can go outside like MDF or SDHD? Never. Who will be the new chairman after the current chairman retires? No. If I was to retire, then the game would essentially die from lack of updates and whatnot. So obviously, I guess I'm in it for life, pretty much. Regardless of the group would run fine, but the game would slowly and surely dissolve into nothing. Will the weapons have nerfs and buffs when the new gun script comes out? That depends on the weapons. I believe Coded and I are going to rebalance all the weapons when we put in his new gun script, so Yes, that would likely happen in the future. Why must you forget about the fact ex-Marshal got promoted to DC of AIA? What? If it's not on the Trello, then it won't be announced. I
You
don't
missed the
think anyone
question.
forgot. Oh. I posted a bug report a while ago, but I do not think anyone saw it. Anyone who is in the subject group will not be spawned in the prison. Instead, they are spawned in the civilian spawn. Will there be a possible fix to this? I mustn't have saw that bug report, but if that's happening, I'll look into it. I believe it's because I redid the subject script so that it was more efficient and everything else, and I probably would have accidentally removed something that would team them. So I'll just add that bit of code back in and it should be fine. Thank you for telling me about that. Are you planning on changing the minimum amount of citizens to start a BAT? Not as of present. Everything seems to be running just as nicely as we could want it. Will the border ever have a direct, friendly / hostile group similar to SCP genres, having groups of interest like the Chaos Insurgency and the Global Occult Coalition? This can increase the activity of the border in general, as well as helping with growing the group, as well as having more events related to them like hostile raids and whatnot. This has actually been discussed before, having a group that would be run by AEGIS, so that, you know, we don't have all the problems that an external faction would have, and they would have their own training place, they'd be able to spawn in the border on their own team and everything, and it would be a lot more controlled. It's still a possibility, but it's not something I'm really looking into doing anytime soon. But it would be an interesting thing to add to the mix. Could the small part of the city that was behind the border be released as a type of beta for the city? There's already an apartment-style place that could be taken control of by operatives instead of scripts being required. Also, this would boost player count along with people's motivation for the game in general. The small bit of the city that I made in like a week, it was really shabby and not finished, and there was not enough there in order to open it up to the public. There wasn't even that much to do. You just go in the apartment building and sit there pretty much. But that whole bit's been destroyed and it's been redesigned by Blue 𝐏𝐃𝐄. So that none of the stuff you've seen at the border in terms of the city will be in the new version of the city. It's a completely different design. But even still, I would never release a part of the city like that unless there was enough for the player to actually do. Plus, it would result in us having to redesign the entire fundamentals of the group and how all of that would work with the citizen role, etc. So no, not until the city's properly finalized will it be open to the public. Will FA Plus be given the no guns on user tool for doing bin duties automatically? No. But you can request them from SC if there's no divisional personnel on the gate and you want to do your job in doing the bin duties or whatever. But you will never just spawn with it, at least I don't think so. I don't have any plans to do that. Do PKSF's shield negate all damage, or how does it work? It basically just lowers damage, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember how it works. Coded's the one that made the scripting for the shield. I'm pretty sure it works the same as the armor though, in which it just lowers the damage.
No, it doesn't.
Does it just
It
absorb
blocks-
damage?
Yeah, it just blocks all damage. Even if it has 1 health, it can tank a 1S shot.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. It absorbs all damage until it's depleted. What's the most hard division to join? Well, that depends entirely on yourself. But the most viewed one is mainly SC and AIA because of the strict quotas that they have in order to have personnel, especially SC considering you get mod and whatnot. But depending on what you're good at, depends on what division is the hardest to get into. For instance, you could be absolutely amazing at administration and you would get into SC pretty easily. Or you could be amazing at combat and get into MDF easily, but shit at administration, for example. It just depends on you. You could be really bad at combat, then you would never get into MDF or STHD. It just depends. Any chance of any new raid routes and methods? Yes, absolutely. There'll be one through the sewer to the city, especially whenever that comes out. But in terms of raid routes in general into the border, there will definitely be a few more in the future. Any upgrades on the PKSF shield? You don't need You don't need a PKSF shield being any better than it currently already is. Uzi has no reload sound. When will that be fixed? Uzi has no reload sound. That's very strange. Should only take 5 minutes if I remember. Whenever I next open studio. Will there be a new division? Yes, likely. The first one will probably be the engineering division. But that's not coming for a while. How valuable are batteries? Why do ERD love it so much? Because batteries power all of ERD's equipment. They're very useful. Will there be security cameras around the border soon? Probably not. It's computationally expensive. Unless we use just basic camera, setting the player's camera to wherever the camera is. But you don't really need security cameras. How do you submit a request for the Medal of Obstacle Veterancy? Send the valid information to somebody who is an
Send
admin.
it to a unit command. Send it to a unit captain plus or a Tomo.
And then they'll add it to the Trello if you're suitable. And then you'll get the medal next conference. Why does heavy Kevlar doesn't stack with PKSF combatics? Not much armor stacks with morphs. At least it wasn't meant to, but there is a glitch where you can stack armor every now and again, but you shouldn't be able to stack armor. That'll probably be fixed in the future. Do some divisions get a free do or some type of own weapon? All divisions have their own characteristics. Some of them have key cards, some of them have weapons. Some of them have their own custom tools, like ARD having a health gun or whatever. But they don't get free dues or anything like that. Those are Game Pass weapons. How do you mine uranium? I've tried using a pickaxe when I used to be a wastelander, but it didn't work. Is there a bug with uranium? I don't know. You should be able to mine it just by going up to it and pressing E with the proximity prompt in a pickaxe. When there will be new post lines, and when FA Plus can open the gate themselves if no SC in the game to get perm. No. I want to show you guys something. Am I allowed to show you the drawing I made? That's what AEGIS Creative's for. Not for the conference. Divisions have their will certain posts rank requirements be increased, such as Geo plus at the booths be increased to Operative plus at the booths. There's no real reason to do that at the moment. Everything seems to work just fine. The city will be in the same game as the border. Will it be a separate game? It will be in the same game. It will basically use, if you've played Dawn of Aurora, it's another border game. They use a similar technology in which they stream in game assets out in and out when they're needed. You'll see in the background there'll be a lower resolution, a lower polygon city in the background. And when you actually go to the city, everything renders in and everything outside of the city renders out. Basically something like that will be utilized. So if you're in the wasteland or the border, all those assets are loaded in and the city's loaded out. If you go to the city, the wasteland and the border load out, the city loads in. That way you can basically have all the same stuff without having people's computers blow up. But that's basically how it'll be done. It'll be all in the same game. We ain't cheap. Will ARD standard Combat X get a new voice line? All Combat X will get more voice lines once a voice line slider's added. At the moment, there's just not enough keys to bind voice lines to. So we can't really add that many more voice lines to morphs without the key bindings getting a bit insane. Has AEGIS ever been defeated by other Robloxian army communities before? No, we're not a RCL war group yet. We don't participate in any sort of clan conflict or anything like that at the moment. Not officially anyway. There might be game events and stuff like that, community events where you'll raid other games. But we don't do anything officially, so no. We've never engaged in any kind of war to lose or win. Though in the future we might. Where I can find more about medals. If you go into the command channel and type /medal, and it'll show you a list of medals, and you can also do /medal and then the medal ID, and it'll show you a description of the medal. Are standard combatics being reworked? No, they've already been reworked. When will the city be finished? That's a very silly question to ask. The city is finished whenever the city is finished. Obviously, it's not getting released until it's completely finished, otherwise people will be disappointed. Would the exploding animating option be fixed? I forgot what the name is, but when you press down on the option, it doesn't work and it won't be selected. There might be a bug with the client. I'll have a look at it later. Can SC get new combatics similar to the new ARD one, like the tools on the waist? Not sure, but something like that. SC do have some stuff on the belt, but they don't have anything like weapons or tools or etc. like that. Maybe, but it's not something that I would prioritize. Will ARD Biocombatics ever get an affirmative voice line? And will ARD Biocombatics get updated voice lines like MDF and SDHD? Like I said, all morphs will get more voice lines in the future. When they're gonna be new command to call RD, ARD, or AIA like you say help to call SE? No. Is there any suggestion and or idea of creating a combat medic? ARD are already technically combat medics. They have a health gun and they can use it on personnel. Finally, thank you for attending our weekly conference, and thank you for all your wonderful, insightful questions. You can go back to the border and you can attend any conferences in your divisions that you might need to. And you can go on the stage like you usually do. Bye bye.
Woo.